And then me finally grabbing my gun and shooting him. Boom, boom, boom. And I put my foot on his arm because he still had the gun. And he looks up at me and he says, "Perdóname, Manny, perdóname," which means forgive me, Manny, forgive me.
I'd love to hear about some of your more interesting shootout stories, maybe even your first or something, that just give people an idea of how you end up getting into a situation like that, because a lot of people just think of a law enforcement shooting as, hey, I thought I saw a gun and I shot the guy and it's over. But you had some more extraordinary experiences with that.
Well, what really, I guess, emotionally grabs me is to be talking to somebody undercover, meeting them undercover, and killing him, and then seeing him dead. I remember one guy that we and it was my partner and I killed in San Bernardino, and it was a heroin deal. And I'll never forget that I made a tactical mistake that he handed me the kilos of heroin in a gym bag. And I told my partner, Bobby, I said, "Bobby, get the money," which was, he was supposed to open up the trunk of the car, and that was going to be the busing. We had surveillance set up. And as soon as surveillance started coming in, there was three Sinaloa traffickers, heroin dealers, and all three of them were packing guns. As the troops come in to make the arrest, which is the most dangerous part when you give the bus signal.
Right.
You've been there, you know that. So he tells me, "Manny, son los perros," it's the dogs, meaning the cops. And he pulls his gun out. And I remember that he's supposed to point at the undercover agents, my friends coming in to make the arrest. And I remember that I had my hands occupied. And I remember just throwing the heroin on the ground and kind of deflected him as he tried to shoot the guys. And then me finally grabbing my gun and shooting him. Boom, boom, boom. And this sticks in my mind, and I still have nightmares about it. So he falls. That he's still alive, and he still has his gun in his hand. And I remember that I walked up to him. Of course, Bobby had also, I don't know, put 5 or 6 rounds in him by then too. And I put my foot on his arm because he still had the gun. And he looks up at me and he says, in Spanish, he says, "Perdóname, Manny, perdóname," which means forgive me, Manny, forgive me. And I thought to myself, doesn't he realize that I shot him? Why is he telling me to forgive him? And it still bothers me to this day. I have nightmares about it. And then I saw his eyes kind of like freeze. I saw him die right there. So those are things that upset you when you do shit like this. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, I kind of like felt sorry for him. And to this day, I question why he was asking me for forgiveness. I wonder if he knew that I was an undercover guy and he was asking me for forgiveness for being a criminal.
Maybe.
Or maybe he didn't realize in those seconds what had really happened and that I had shot him. I don't know. But those are kind of the things that I share with people that are religious, because to this day, I carry it with me, especially that one. That was one of my first shootouts. There was others, but they were a little different. This was more personal because I had been undercover long-term to these guys.
Yeah, and
I knew him.
So up close and personal, and certainly righteously so. At least it wasn't a mistake or something.
Right.
But I can understand why that was a heavy weight to carry, and I appreciate you sharing that.
It stays with you, and like I said, I still have nightmares about stuff like that. I wake up and I have landed on the floor because I'm dodging bullets in my nightmare, and I'll throw myself off the bed so I won't get shot in my dreams. And I'm telling you, it's scary stuff, but that's what you live through. And it all comes back when you're older, because when you're undercover and everything happens, everything's moving so quickly. After that shootout, of course, the sheriff's department comes in, and the ambulance comes and all that other stuff, and you're there, you're just kind of numb, and you're watching all this go down, and it has an impact on you. It really does. There was other shootouts where I involved in killing other people, but it was more like making an arrest, and they start shooting at us, and we start shooting back, and people end up dead a lot of times. Especially like in Mexico in the jungles, it was more like Vietnam type shootings because I kind of don't have nightmares about those is because nobody knew who shot who. Honestly, nobody knows.
Yeah.
People are dead and people are picked up, and there was so many of those that sometimes I even forget about them.